Wizard Spell Magic and the Legends of Leander, an exciting new magical children's book that's available on the internet at website www.wizardspellmagic.weebly.com. I'll read you the back of the book. As the dark wizard Delverastian searches the magical realm of Leander in his thirst for the powers of the lost magical entities, bringing chaos and destruction to the magical lands. But when 4 ordinary children from our world accidentally stumble upon one of the entities, the dark obsidian gemstone, within the grounds of an old haunted castle, their adventures have only just begun. And I'll read from chapter 5, where Jack just meets Wizard Meldrick, the Forgetful wizard. "Wow!" Jack scrambled to his feet. "Could you teach me magic?" asked Jack. "Certainly not," the old man exclaimed. "I'm too old to be bothered by the stupidity of a fumbling apprentice these days." He prodded Jack scandalously. "You're here to steal my precious Zithirith wand and my crystal ball," he said, grasping up a rather crooked piece of old willow twig and glass ball to his chest. "If you know not of magic, then how did you come to fall into my chamber, out of nowhere?" The old wizard stared at Jack closely, then his eyes widened in horror. "Have you come to steal my precious work?" he cried, brandishing his arms before him and grasping at the heavy red velvet curtain. "My experiments," he gasped as he clutched at the red velvet curtain. "I knew I was growing close to finding them. They told me it was nonsense, that tales of such chemicals creating such magic were foolishness, but I knew it to be true. And you've come to steal it from me." The heavy curtain swayed in his grasp as he frantically tried to hide what it concealed, falling to the floor about the old wizard. Behind the curtain was a large bench covered with intricate glass equipment, spiralling condensers, funnels, tubes, and large glass round flasks, all interconnected and bubbling away with all manner of peculiarly coloured concoctions. Meldrick gasped, turning to Jack, and scowled. "I've no time for thieves and liars," he exclaimed. "Be gone with you before I can remember one of my worst incantations." "No, no," exclaimed Jack, thinking he must have really had a bang to the head. "I'm not a thief or a liar. I don't want to steal anything from you, please. I don't know how I got here. I was running away from that biker. He wanted the dark obsidian gemstone. His eyes, piercing blue, just stared right into me at the gemstone. I was scared and ran. He came after me on his bike. I took out the dark gemstone. I didn't know what I did. It just turned really hot, like a sudden burning in my hand, and I threw it." The old mage stared hard at Jack now with his full attention. "Did you see anything?" he asked in awe. "Lights? A flash?" "There was a kind of shimmering liquid wall glistening in front of me," exclaimed Jack, thinking back. "I touched it. My hand went through it and vanished. I just wanted to get away from that biker, so I stepped through it and fell, landing here." Jack pointed to the floor where he'd fallen. "I just wanted to go home. It's getting late now. I just need some help," pleaded Jack. The old magician took a step backwards, quivering in excitement, and clutched his hands and to his wispy white beard. Breathing deeply, he fell back into his chair. "You truly are a great magician," the old wizard exclaimed, breathing hard and taking a drink from his goblet on the table. Jack blinked at the old wizard, surprised and pleased at himself. He held out the dark gemstone, showing the wizard. "It's not me," he said. "It's this thing." "Ah!" gasped Meldrick, cringing and holding up his hands to shield himself from it. "It's true. It is the dark obsidian gemstone." He stared in awe at the glistening black orb from behind his fingers. "The legends, they tell of the most powerful magic of all. But how did you come by this, boy? Did the dark dragon not take you? Do not, I beg you, do not cast your spells over me. I am but an old man." "No, no," Jack drew his hand back, not wanting to scare the old wizard. "I wouldn't do that. I couldn't. I don't know how," he whispered. "I just found the gemstone by the castle back home, and all these weird things started to happen to me and my friends." "There are more of you with such powers?" asked the wizard, mortified. "Well, there's me, Alex, Morgan and Cameron. I think Alex secretly likes Morgan," Jack added distractedly for a moment, "but he won't admit it. "What, there's a whole coven of warlocks and witches?" Meldrick cried. "Oh!" shrilled the confused old wizard, brandishing Zethirith, his willow branch wand, at Jack. "Begone, evil warlock! You shall not possess me!" Jack took a step back in surprise. This was going to be harder than he'd thought. He took a deep breath. "It's okay," he said quietly. "I don't mean to do you any harm. I just need your help, please." "Trickery! Trickery!" Meldrick hissed. "I see your trickery." Jack sat down on the floor, exasperated. "But if you want an old wizard's help to get back home, it can be bought for a price," exclaimed Meldrick, his eyes eyeing the obsidian gemstone craftily now. "An old wizard has many spells to help. If you were to give that gemstone to me, I will help you, boy." Then Meldrick smiled a toothless grin. Jack looked back at him suspiciously. Then suddenly the black cat that had been sitting quietly washing itself by the hearth stepped forward, right before Jack's eyes. It amazingly metamorphosized into a beautiful young girl, her long dark hair tumbling about her face in ringlets. "It's all right," she spoke to Meldrick softly. "He means you no harm. He only needs our help. And we," she paused, looking into the fire thoughtfully, "perhaps we need his help too." "Estraquesh," Meldrick said, visibly relaxing at the touch of her hand upon his. He lowered the willow branch wand in his grasp. Jack blinked and blinked again. He couldn't believe what he'd just seen. "But you were a cat just then," he exclaimed. "What are you?" Jack stammered. "I am a changeling," said the girl softly. "I can take many forms, sometimes a nighthawk, a great bear, even the white wolf," she smiled, "and many more besides," she said with a faraway look in her twinkling eyes. As Estraquesh spoke, her form changed before them again, transforming from one creature to the next. First she sprang into the air, becoming a nighthawk, then growling as she transformed into a great black bear, rearing up on her hind legs until finally she stretched out her forearms to the ground and metamorphosized into a large white wolf standing right before them, her pale eyes glittering in the firelight. Lifting her head, she let out a great howl into the night. A shudder of fear shivered down Jack's spine. "I'm a familiar to the wizard Meldrick," spoke Estraquesh the wolf. "I am his lucky spirit, if you like, watching over him." Estraquesh sprang forward towards Jack. He cringed, but as she landed, she had changed back into her human form. "The dark gemstone," Estraquesh pointed to it in his hand. "Do you know what you have found there?" she asked calmly. "No, not really," stammered Jack, "although I'm starting to realise." The old wizard had regained some of his composure now and spoke out. "I can't believe it. The dark obsidian gemstone," he said, shaking his head. Meldrick paused with some reverence and took another drink from his goblet. "Legend has it that the dark crystal," he gestured to the obsidian gemstone, "was forged from the incredible heat and power hurled from the lava of a volcano in time before time began. When all that is magical was forged into being, it was created as a force for good, and is said to perform miracles of life, a doorway to other realms. But if ever it were to fall into the hands of evil, which it must never be allowed to do, then the evil would know no bounds. The great black dragon is said to protect it, wearing it as a charm. It was undefeatable until it became lost to the dragon in a great battle, and the dragon was slain. The dark gemstone was lost. Its legend lapsed into time. The legend has it that when the dark gemstone is reunited with its sister entities, other magical gemstones and treasures of the universe, then great strength, magical powers, and spoils of gold will be revealed to those who guard and command these magical entities. There are those who doubt its existence. There are also those who believe it will overcome all and search for it relentlessly. Centuries ago, a wizard searched for and found the dark gemstone, sent by the dark wizard, his master." Meldrick lowered his voice, whispering the name. "Dalvarastian." Dagwood, the wizard who found the dark gemstone, incurred the wrath of his master, the dark wizard, for not returning it to him. Dalvarastian cursed Dagwood to walk the earth as part ghost, part dragon, to guard the gemstone until it could be retrieved by the one who desired its powers more than anything, the dark wizard himself.